Hello and welcome to GeeBee Education Agency Training 2020. I'm excited to bring this opportunity to you to learn a little bit more about UW-La Crosse as you meet and interact with prospective students who might be a good fit for us. I want to begin by introducing myself and the team at UW-La Crosse. My name is Heather Pearson and I'm one of our international admissions counselors. I'm more of the in-house person, and so you'll probably work with me quite a bit. I'm the person who receives students' applications and helps collect all of their documents. I review them and make the admission decision. I evaluate transfer credits and educational credentials, and then I issue immigration documents and help students with their next steps. So I'm really with a student from the beginning of their application through the time that they come to UW-La Crosse. I also work with our agency partners, and so I'm the person you can reach out to anytime you have a question, a concern, a suggestion about UW-La Crosse. Kelsey Jones is our other international admissions counselor, and Kelsey is more of our external person. He's more likely to be the one traveling to one of your agency offices, meeting you and your staff, and doing some in-person agency training and sessions with prospective students and families. Kelsey usually travels anywhere between 1 and 2 months each semester for UW-La Crosse. And then finally, we have Miranda Panzer. Miranda is an international student advisor, and she works with the current students at UW-La Crosse. She typically meets them during orientation as she's conducting the orientation sessions. And then while students are at UW-La Crosse, she's an advocate for them. She does advising, she does immigration compliance, she helps them with CPT and OPT internship and work experiences, and she does cultural programming throughout the campus. And so she's really the person students go to if they have a question or concern. Starting out big picture with the university, we are located in the state of Wisconsin and the city of La Crosse. As you look at the map here, you can see Wisconsin is a green colored state in the northern part of the United States, bordered by Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan. You'll notice we are not far from the Canadian border, but we don't actually share a border with it. The city of La Crosse is a middle-sized city, which is a great size for a university community, but sometimes students wonder where the nearest really big urban metropolitan city is. And as you can see here by the distances, we aren't that far away from Chicago, Madison, Minneapolis, and some other big cities. Those cities are all accessible to students either through an airport, a train, a bus, or our major highways, and they're all very easy to get to for maybe a weekend trip. You'll notice we are not close to some of the popular US cities like New York City, Seattle, and LA. However, again, with the good transportation options available to our students, it's very possible for them to travel throughout the US and visit some of these other cities while they are with us. The city of La Crosse has about 52,000 people living in it, and we're part of the Coulee region of Wisconsin, which has a little over 100,000 residents. For our area of the United States, we are one of the larger cities, especially in Western Wisconsin, although it certainly does not have a big city feel. I like to tell students it's a great size city to study in, because you get all of the energy and excitement and opportunities of a larger city with entertainment, recreation, outdoor adventures, shopping, restaurants, all of those types of things. But you do that within a community that feels very much like a neighborhood. You get to know each other. Transportation throughout the city is really easy. There's no rush hour traffic, and it really is just a friendly community. It's really easily accessible to get to and from La Crosse. First of all, we have a regional airport that's really close to the university. It has daily flights to and from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, Chicago O'Hare Airport, and Detroit International Airport. We also have a stop in La Crosse on the Amtrak train line, and that can take students across the United States. There are regional bus companies that will pick students up in La Crosse and take them to other major cities in the area. And then locally, they can ride our city buses as well as utilize Uber and Lyft. The major industries in La Crosse are healthcare, education, business, manufacturing, and technology. So most of the major industries are represented. And again, for a student, it helps them in different ways while they're here. Initially, they might be looking more for just care and social opportunities as a student. So knowing that they have healthcare available through really good hospitals and clinics if they were to need assistance while they're here. Taking advantage of the educational opportunities at UW-La Crosse, but also having access to other higher education institutions within the city. Initially, the businesses might be more with the use for social or for other needs. So for example, buying groceries, going shopping, things like that. But what many of these industries become for students as they progress in their careers are opportunities for a volunteer experience, an internship, or possibly even an OPT work experience. La Crosse is known for its natural scenic beauty. On the western part of the city, we have the Mississippi River. And when students come for orientation, we take them on a riverboat cruise down the Mississippi River a little ways. It helps them take in the beautiful scenery while learning about the history and the culture of La Crosse. Then on the other part of the city, we have Grandad Bluff. This is a large geological formation that has a lot of hiking trails and natural beauty, but it also has the overlook you see on the right side here. When students look over that, they see the whole city of La Crosse right in front of them. So they can see very clearly the university campus, the neighborhoods, the downtown area. You can see further out in that picture, they can see the Mississippi River, and then beyond that is the state of Minnesota. They get to experience all 4 seasons in Wisconsin. And so summers will be hot and humid, sometimes with temperatures going well above 30 degrees. Summer will give way to the fall or autumn season when the temperatures cool, the leaves fall off the trees, and it very much feels like a season of transition. Then it will become winter when there will be snow on the ground and temperatures will often be below 0. And then the snow will melt and things will start to grow and bloom again as temperatures increase during the spring season. I think all of the things I've just talked about really contribute to what has made the city of La Crosse the 19th best college town in the United States. And in the heart of the city, we have the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. We are part of the University of Wisconsin system of universities, which is a group of 13 universities throughout our state that have the title University of Wisconsin. That is usually then followed by the name of the city in which they are located. And so, for example, many students have heard of University of Wisconsin-Madison or University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Those are the 2 largest universities in our state, and they have a lot of national and international recognition. But there are 11 other universities, and we are one of those, University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. I like to begin by just showing a map of the campus. It helps to put kind of the campus experience into perspective and to show that it's very easy to get in between academic buildings in between class time. As you look at the buildings here that are numbered, buildings 1 through 10 are the dormitories, and you'll notice those are more in the outer part of the campus. The buildings numbered after 10 are academic buildings, the student union, dining facilities, the library, basically the facilities students use during the day. And so as you can see, students begin in the outer part of campus from their dormitory. They come into the heart of the campus for their classes. Then when their day is done, they go back to their dormitory. If they need to come back into the heart of campus to go to a lab or do some research at the library, it's a short, probably 5-minute walk from their dormitory to that building. Or if they're ready to do something socially with their friends, they step outside their dormitory and they're right in a residential neighborhood where the buses can pick them up and they can walk to nature trails, restaurants, coffee shops, and other things. The campus has an overall student population of just under 10,600 students. I like to think this gives students the benefit of a larger campus, opportunities, excitement, engagement, but also a smaller campus, personal attention. Our students are divided into about 9,600 undergraduate students pursuing bachelor's degrees and just under 1,000 students pursuing master's degrees or a small number of doctoral degrees. You'll see that an average class size is 29 students, and so our students get to know each other in their classes, their professors get to know them by name, and students say that that helps them feel comfortable asking questions and participating in discussions. It also allows the professors to identify students when an opportunity comes up for an internship, a scholarship, a research project, because they know a lot about their students. Our students come from 42 of the 50 states, and 43 countries from all around the world. We typically have around 100 international students right now. However, if we look back a few years, the number was significantly higher, between 200 and 300. And so we've definitely felt the effects of COVID and the economy and the political situation. And our hope is that as we start to turn that corner, we can work to enroll more international students again. A few rankings about UW-La Crosse that we like to highlight. Kiplinger's Personal Finance has ranked us the #4 best college under $30,000. US News and World Report has ranked us the #6 top public regional university in the Midwestern United States. I like the combination of those two rankings because they speak to affordability, but also academic excellence. US News and World Report has also ranked us one of the top universities for undergraduate research and creative projects. And so even as students are pursuing their bachelor's degrees, they can conduct hands-on research with professors, potentially be published in a professional journal, or presented or invited to present at a regional or national conference. Really good opportunities. We've been noted for our commitment to diversity, both on campus and in the community. And we've gotten a good ranking for the number of part-time on-campus jobs at UW-La Crosse. This is especially important for our international students since they can't have a job off campus. They're able to work on campus up to 20 hours per week, making at least a minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. And there are a lot of jobs on campus. And so we feel confident that if a student wants to have a job, they will find that opportunity. This is a listing of our undergraduate programs. And there's over 100 programs students can choose from between their major, their minor, and emphases within those programs. They're divided here by the college or school in which they're located at UW-La Crosse. And so you can see we have an AACSB accredited College of Business Administration that has many of the popular business programs. We have a College of Arts, Social Sciences, and Humanities that has some popular majors like communication studies, English, psychology, and sociology, and also some more unique programs like archaeological studies and public administration. We have a School of Arts and Communication that has our visual and performing arts programs. Our College of Science and Health has our largest major, which is biology, as well as other popular majors like chemistry, computer science, mathematics, physics, and statistics, and some more unique health-related programs like clinical laboratory science, exercise and sports science, and nuclear medicine technology. The School of Education has our teacher training programs, and so they're training teachers to work in our primary, middle, and secondary schools. And then lastly, you'll see there's opportunities for dual degrees for our students who begin in a bachelor's degree program, but know that their final goal is a master's degree or doctoral degree. In instances where we offer a program here at that graduate level, there's some opportunities to do a dual degree. We also have a good array of graduate programs, and many of those programs fall within the STEM, science, and technology fields. A small number of our graduate programs are only offered online. Those are the cybersecurity, data science, healthcare administration, and information technology management programs. I point that out because we are not able to issue immigration documents for those programs. So students enrolling in those online programs either need to complete the program outside of the United States or to have a visa outside of our student visa that would permit them to be in the United States while studying a program. I've listed on here in red the programs that are the most popular among our international students. So the majority of our students apply for applied statistics, biology, the data science online program, and software engineering. Having said that, all of these programs offer opportunities for international students to apply. And even though they may not be the top programs for international students, we currently have international students in athletic training, in physical education teaching, in microbiology, and in student affairs administration. And so there really is good representation of international students across multiple graduate programs. We offer an English as a second language ESL Institute for students. And this is a great option for your students who do not quite get the required TOEFL or IELTS score, but are interested in still pursuing a degree at UW-La Crosse. For some of the students, it may mean the full immersion in an ESL program, studying nothing but English language and working to progress to be able to begin a degree program at a later date. For some students, it may be a bridge program where they're taking a combination of ESL classes and classes in their degree program. We also offer a U.S. Culture and English Academy summer program. This program typically happens between July and August, and it's for younger students, typically students between the ages of 12 and 17. If you work with some of the secondary schools in India, this is an opportunity to bring a group of those students to UW-La Crosse to help expose them to American education. While they're with us, there will be some English language instruction. There will be a lot of cultural immersion. We plan some really fun activities just to introduce them to American culture. And then there can also be an academic component where they just get to spend time in a science lab or in a music studio or in other facilities on campus. We find that this is a fun experience for the students, but it also makes them feel more comfortable at a US university. The hope is that when they're a little bit older, they come back to you and either ask you to help them apply to UW-La Crosse, or if not us, that they ask you to help them apply to another US university because they have that confidence that it's a program they can do. We have 10 dormitories at UW-La Crosse, and about a third of our students live in the dormitories, and so it very much is a residential feel. International students can choose to live in any of the dormitories. However, we set aside rooms specifically in Eagle Hall and Reuter Hall because both of those have characteristics that seem to be really desirable among international students. And so we tend to encourage the students to look at either Eagle Hall or Reuter Hall. So Eagle Hall is a suite style dormitory. As you can see, there are 2 rooms. Each room has 3 students, so it's a community of 6 students with a shared bathroom. What's nice about this is the rooms are a little bit larger than a traditional dormitory room, so they have a little bit more space. And instead of sharing bathroom facilities with maybe a couple dozen students in their hall, they're only sharing it with their other 5 suite mates. And so it gives them a little bit more privacy there as well. These are some pictures of Eagle Hall, both the dormitory rooms and then other features throughout the building. Another attribute of Eagle Hall is that it has more kitchens than any of the other dormitories. And so even though there isn't a kitchen in the suite, within the overall building, there are several kitchens where students can store food or cook food. The other dormitory that we reserve rooms in is Reuter Hall. Reuter Hall is an apartment style dormitory. And as you can see there, there's 4 rooms, A, B, C, and D. Each of those is a private bedroom for the student. And then the 4 students together share the apartment facilities of the living room, kitchen, and bathroom. This is a good option for a graduate student, for a transfer student or older student, or for a student who either wants the privacy of their own bedroom or who very much wants to cook their own food, because since they have a kitchen, they can choose not to participate in a meal plan and to buy and cook their own food. These are some pictures of Reuter Hall, both the apartment building and then the overall dormitory. Our dining services provides a lot of great options for students. Students participate in the Eagle meal plan, which gives them unlimited entry into our Whitney Center main dining room. That gives them basically a full service cafeteria where there's healthy options like freshly made soups, a salad bar with fresh vegetables, entrees every day that are low fat, low calorie, healthy options, and then some college favorites like pizza and burgers. They'll be able to find vegetarian options, vegan options, gluten-free options, peanut-free options. So for most of our students, based on their preferences, the Whitney Center really does accommodate all of their needs. In addition, they have $115 of what we call maroon dollars, and they can use those anywhere on campus where food is served. They order the food item and we swipe their card. So for example, we have Starbucks on campus. If a student wants to grab a latte on the way to class in the morning, they can go to Starbucks, swipe their card, and it reduces it from their maroon dollars. They also have guest meals, and so if a friend comes to visit them at UW-La Crosse, they can go together to the dining services. The student swipes their card, and then both of those meals are covered, and so they pay for their friend's meal just through that dining plan. We do our best to provide a lot of services for students. and to encourage them to be involved at UW-La Crosse. Our International Education and Engagement Office is the main office that works with international programming and students at UW-La Crosse. So it provides cultural programming that helps across the campus learn about different cultures. It also provides advocacy for policies and procedures that are friendly towards international students. It has the international student advising staff, and it's also just a hangout for international students. When they want to go somewhere kind of fun, they congregate in IEE and play games and eat their lunch and talk to the staff. It really is a hangout for international students. The Academic Advising Center provides guidance to students as they work towards their degree. That might be helping them explore different majors and minors and emphases within programs. It might be looking at elective classes they can take to round out their degree. So they're really charged with keeping students on track for graduation. Our Access Center provides services for students with disabilities. That might be a learning disability, a physical disability. As long as a student has a diagnosed disability, they can provide documentation to that office, and then they work to set up accommodations so that student has the same opportunity to be successful as any other student. We offer over 200 student organizations, so both a way for students to connect socially, as well as to develop some leadership and other skills that will help them professionally. Some of our organizations are very much cultural based. For example, a lot of our international students will join the International Student Association. This helps them connect with other international students from around the world and share experiences and promote their culture. Students might join academic or professional clubs, and so they do activities with their classmates and their professors that includes networking and field trips and other professional activities. There's a lot of other social clubs where students connect based on a common faith belief, a common activity they enjoy doing, and that just helps them find other friends who share that same interest. We also have volunteer organizations where students get together with other students and perform service within the community. Besides these clubs and organizations, we also offer a wide variety of athletic opportunities. Those include intramurals, sports clubs, and Division III athletics. I like to tell students there's something for everybody. If you're like me and you love being active, but you're just not that talented, you can join an intramural sports team, form a team with your friends, and then compete against other students at the university at a similar skill level. If you want to be a little bit more competitive, you can join one of our sports clubs. You're then part of a UW-La Crosse team, and you play other sports club teams in the area. Lastly, if you're a really talented athlete, you can try out for one of our NCAA Division III athletic teams. If the coaching staff chooses you to be on the team, you can then be part of a collegiate experience that includes playing other Division III teams in the state and region and having an opportunity for state and national championships. And then lastly, performing arts. A number of our students want to pursue something academic that maybe isn't art related, but art is still a big part of their life. And so students can join bands, choirs, orchestras. They can try out for plays. They can be in the school musical. So a way to keep pursuing those arts and doing something they enjoy while pursuing their degree. Our Career Services Office helps students throughout their time at the university as they gather those experiences that they will put in their resume and use during their interviews. Career Services has a program called Handshake, which is a database of internships and employment opportunities that's available to students once they set up their profile. So instead of having to look at multiple sites, they've got it all in one big database. We host a lot of different fairs on campus to expose students to opportunities after graduation. And those include graduate and professional school fairs, internship fairs, job fairs, and other opportunities. We have a 98% job placement rate, and that means that our students are getting employed or they're pursuing further education after they graduate. For most of our international students, it will be employment through the OPT work program or pursuing further education in their field of study. We have two programs specific to our international students, the La Crosse Friends of International Students and the Global Buddies program. The Friends of International Students is a host friend program. So we match your student with a family in the La Crosse area. It is not a homestay program, and so the students aren't actually living with the family. They're still living in their dormitory, but the family will welcome them when they arrive. Invite them over periodically for dinner. Include them in family game nights and movie nights. Invite them over for holidays or to take vacations. So they really welcome that student as a member of their family. The Global Buddies program connects your student with a current UW La Crosse student who's from the US. They begin by just sharing information about their culture and about each other. And what they typically find is that they share things in common. And so it then turns into more of a friendship. The US student usually already has some friends established at the university, and so they can introduce the international student to their friends. So both of these programs are really meant to help the student start to build community when they come to La Crosse, knowing that initially they might feel a little lonely, a little homesick. But while they start out as just helping them build community, most of these relationships end up being long-term relationships that actually extend far beyond when the student graduates from La Crosse. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the application process, and we will start with undergraduate admission. We have two intakes, a fall September intake and a spring January intake. For undergraduate admission, students complete the state of Wisconsin application at apply.wisconsin.edu. They pay the small $25 application fee. They can pay that with a credit card when they submit their application. They'll send us their year 10 records, and there's a number of different examinations they may be taking. We also, if they've completed year 12, will want their year 12 examinations. And again, we know that there's a variety of different ones offered. If a student has not yet completed their year 12 examination, we will ask you to work with them to get their year 10 examination results, and then an academic transcript for year 11, just showing the subjects that they were studying and their assessment. If your student is a transfer student, we will also want a copy of their undergraduate transcript. For English proficiency, we look for a TOEFL of a 73 or an IELTS of a 6.0. And if a student does not have one of those marks, they can then enroll in our ESL Institute as another option. Additionally, we will look for proof of funding for 1 year of study at the university and a copy of the photo page of their passport. Those two items are used to issue their immigration documents. Great news is that SAT is not required. It's not needed for admission or for scholarship consideration. And so while a student can submit it, it's not expected or required. Most of the students that we admit into bachelor's degree programs will have a GPA of a 2.5 or better, so about a BC grading average or better. For most Indian grading systems, this will be a 50% or better, a C1 or better, or 5 pass with credit or better. For graduate admission, similarly, there are two intakes. The students submit the same application, but they will identify as a graduate student. They'll pay a slightly higher application fee. We won't need any kind of secondary school records, but we will need their college and university transcripts. For English proficiency, we will look for a minimum TOEFL of 79 or IELTS of 6.0. We will also look for proof of funding and that passport photocopy if they are applying to an on-campus program. If a student is applying for an online program, for example, data science, we will not need those two items since we will not be issuing immigration documents. The GRE and GMAT are not required for most of our graduate programs. The only programs that require the GRE are physician assistant, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. For all of our other graduate programs, they are not required and can be submitted as additional material, but is not expected or required. Each of the graduate programs will require some sort of additional documentation, and that might be letters of recommendation, a personal statement, a resume, or something else. That information is available on the department website for that graduate program. And when we receive the application, I will send the student an email that outlines the additional material and sends them a link to the dashboard to submit it. We do require that for graduate admission, students have a minimum of a 4-year bachelor's degree. We do know that there are some bachelor's degrees in India that are awarded after 3 years. And at this time, we are not accepting them for our graduate programs. If a student does not accept that decision, we encourage them to complete an evaluation through ECE or WES. And if that evaluation company determines that their particular bachelor's degree, even though it's only 3 years, is equivalent to a US bachelor's degree, we will then give it consideration. but we found that in most cases, the four-year bachelor's degree is the minimum requirement. Most of the students admitted into graduate programs have a GPA of at least a 3.0 on a 4-point scale, so about a B average. This would be about a 45% in most Indian college and university grading scales, or a 7 or better from an Indian Institute of Technology. Here's the estimated cost for 1 year of study at UWL, and you can see that it's broken down by the graduate, and the ESL cost. That's the number that changes the most, about $18,500 for 1 year of undergraduate education, just over $20,000 for graduate, and just over $11,300 for ESL. For housing, we've budgeted Eagle Hall, the suite style dormitory for undergraduate and ESL, and Reuter Hall, the apartment building for graduate, although any student can choose whichever dormitory they want. The meal plan is based on the Eagle meal plan, the one that I showed you. And then all students participate in the state of Wisconsin health insurance program. So the total for 1 year of study at UW-La Crosse is about $27,700 for undergraduate, just over $31,000 for graduate, and just over $20,000 for 1 year of ESL. For I-20 purposes, we build in a little bit for personal expenses, and so you can see the amount on the I-20 is slightly higher, but those are not charges we are going to bill the student for. The personal expenses might be travel, food, clothing, school supplies, and other things like that. We offer financial assistance to our students after they're admitted. And at the undergraduate level, we have the Vice Chancellor Scholarship for new international students. They can apply for this scholarship once they've been offered admission, as long as they have the equivalent of a 3.0 GPA or a B average. That scholarship ranges between $2,000 and $5,000 per year. And as long as they continue to maintain a GPA of 3.0 at UW-La Crosse, that scholarship renews every year for them. Once they come to UW-La Crosse and begin to establish a GPA here, they can apply for the iEngage scholarship. That scholarship is awarded to students with a 2.5 GPA and who are participating in cultural activities on campus and in the community. The award can be as much as $2,000 per semester, and it can be awarded more than once, and so it could be as much as $4,000 per year. Those two scholarships are stackable, and so we do have some students who receive both the Vice Chancellor Scholarship, and then once they get to UW-La Crosse, they add the iEngage Scholarship to it. Lastly, undergraduate students can apply for the UW-La Crosse Foundation Scholarships. That is a grouping of scholarships that are awarded to our students based on different characteristics. The website I've listed there takes you to a search engine where you can see the variety of scholarships. Often I encourage students to search based on the major they're pursuing, the minor they're pursuing, to search for international scholarships because there are some that are specific to international students, and then just to look across the whole database to see if there might be other ones based on a certain characteristic of the student that they are eligible for. At the graduate level, students can be considered for graduate assistantships. This gives them a work stipend to work between 15 and 20 hours per week in an office on campus. They can be eligible for a non-resident tuition waiver. If granted this waiver, their tuition is reduced by about 50%, as they no longer pay the full non-resident tuition, they just pay the local domestic tuition. Graduate students can also qualify for the iEngage Scholarship and for foundation scholarships. And so both undergraduate and graduate have good opportunities for different financial assistance. There are some things at the university that are free to students. They have free access to our fitness center. We call it the Rec Center. And that has really good cardio equipment, free weights, a basketball court, a swimming pool, a running track, a climbing wall, and other things just to keep students physically active. We have a movie theater on campus, and we show movies every weekend for free to students. Students have free admission to our athletic events, and so they can develop school pride as they cheer for the football team or the basketball team or any of our other Division III athletics. They can ride the city buses for free. The buses can pick them up near campus or in other areas of the city, and they have regular routes to downtown La Crosse, to the shopping mall, and other areas throughout the city. Students can also download an app to their smartphone or tablet called TV Anywhere, and that gives them access to free cable TV channels. And there will be a lot of other events that happen throughout the year that offer free opportunities for students as well. I always encourage our agency partners and our students to connect with us on social media. It's the easiest way to hear in the moment things that are happening on campus. And it also just gives you a sense for the culture and the feel of the campus. So these are some different opportunities. You can see that we are located on many of the social media platforms. The special one that I want to point out is the top one, the UW-La Crosse Student Ambassadors. We work with a platform called Unibuddy, and so we refer to our student ambassadors as Unibuddies. And on the screen here, you can see Tasia. Tasia is one of our Unibuddy student ambassadors from India. And if you were to go to her page, you would be able to see photographs, videos, and blogs of her experience at UW-La Crosse. You could also click on Chat with Tasia, and you'd have an opportunity to message each other back and forth. So this is a great way for students to get the student experience while they're considering UW-La Crosse, in addition to the advice and information I may be giving them as their admissions counselor, and you may be giving them as their educational consultant. Hearing from a student can be really impactful. The city of La Crosse is really a great community for our Indian students. We have CHAI, which is the Cultural Heritage Association of India, which is located in La Crosse. And so that's made up of students, faculty, staff, community members, really a group of Indian individuals that celebrate their culture and celebrate a lot of the major events and holidays. We also have New Taste of India, which is run by an Indian family and is a great Indian restaurant when students are missing some of the great tastes of food back home. And along those lines, we also have Spice Bazaar, another great opportunity for students to get some of the groceries that they might be missing from home or some of the snacks or other food items. So we really try to promote a strong feeling of community among our international students from India. And I also think that as the students come, they feel like they have mentorship and direction from others within their community. For you as our agent partner, we want you to feel supported. So we are committed to providing training as often as needed. The nice thing about this video being filmed is that it will be able to be shared with agents as they are able to watch it. We will also provide updates on anything relevant to the university as those things happen. We want to make sure that you have print and digital copies of recruitment materials. And so this presentation, along with some other electronic materials, will be saved for you in a Google Share folder. And we will send you a link to that drive so that you and your team can access the electronic copies. But if you have agencies that are open, we are also happy to mail you some pennants and publications and things like that to have on hand. We are also open to providing country and region specific information. And so if there's something we can prepare for you, whether it's a video, something for social media, something in print, or something else that will help you specifically recruit students in India, let us know and we're happy to work on that. We hope to be able to travel again, hopefully sometime soon. And when that happens, we hope that we are able to visit your offices so we can meet you in person and meet your staff and do training and talk to students and families. So hopefully we won't just be connecting with each other through video here, but we'll actually be in person sometime soon. My commitment to you is fast responses to your inquiries. I will share my WhatsApp number with you and your staff, and you're welcome to either email during a regular working day or WhatsApp when you have a question, because I want to make sure that you get the answer to your question as quickly as possible. And then lastly, we are open to hearing whatever else we can do to help make this relationship really vibrant. We know that you're working hard to identify students who would be a good fit for our university. And so we want to give you as much as we can to help you be able to do that. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And I'm excited about our agency relationship. I know that GeeBee Education and UW-La Crosse have had an agency partnership for a while, but as someone who is fairly new in her position, I've only been in my role for a little over a year, I haven't had much of a chance to work with you yet. And so I'm excited to get to know the staff and hopefully to begin to work with you more on student recruitment. So please reach out to me if you have any questions at all. And hopefully We will be able to meet in person sometime as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.